Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at Aston Martin and Lucid. Aston Martin allegedly in talks with Saudis about Lucid EV plans. So this is actually really exciting. This has been a rumor for the past week, I would say, and for the last few days it's really been getting kind of hype. Now it makes me really curious if these rumors are true, if this adds to the Lucid story that we've been hearing so far. Last summer, Aston Martin Executive Chairman Lawrence Stroll continued a shake-up of the British car automaker by making it known that he sought a partnership with a planned range of electric vehicles. Now, at the time, he mentioned Mercedes-Benz, Rivian, and Lucid as potential sources for a platform, maybe more. Now, Mercedes seems to be an odd choice. Despite Mercedes being Aston Martin technology partner, Mercedes have had a history of providing Aston Martin vehicles with engines, so they have a really interesting partnership. So Stroll's comment over the previous year made it sound as if he viewed the tie-up more like a punishment he was bound to, and essentially didn't make it sound very enthusiastic. Also, Lawrence Stroll is also the owner of the Aston Martin F1 team, which is currently in F1 with Mercedes, and I do believe that they're using Mercedes engine. So what an interesting relationship. But they're not really in a rivalry in F1. They're on completely different playing fields. Now the article also stressed that they're not so sure about Rivian. Now Lucid seems to be the lead at the moment. It seems to be the most agreeable, I would say. And we're going to go into that information, reasons why this partnership could work out for Lucid and for Aston Martin. So as the California automaker was seemingly in previous discussion with the English about an EV sports car platform, Car and Drive reports that Stroll is serious about Lucid again, talking to both the Saudi public investment fund that owns a controlling interest in Lucid and directly to Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson. This is exciting. So Lawrence Stroll is actually talking with the Saudi Public Investment Fund. This is a big deal. This could realistically happen, seriously. And that's mostly because I know Aston Martin so well, and I also know Lucid so well right now. Aston Martin needs help. They need help. Their road cars hasn't been doing well as it used to. It just hasn't. With the new arrivals like McLarens that are just for the last 10 years, McLarens have been killing the game, and it's fair to say that they've taken the spotlight away from cars like Aston Martin. There's many other sports car and supercars as well that's been taken away the spotlight from Aston Martin. Aston Martin mostly have remained the same, and they haven't changed enough. The car design primarily still looks pretty old-fashioned. We've gotten used to these kind of cars for a really long time. And don't get me wrong, by any means, I used to like Aston Martin cars, but like I said, I've gotten used to this look, and we're all looking for something new, something different, you know? So on top of needing a partner of range battery electric to roll out around 2027, Lawrence Stroll's trying to fend off unwelcome suitors and maintain independence. 2 years ago, Aston Martin's stock surpasses $22 per share. Last November, it fell below $1 per share. Now it's up to $2. The market seems to be plenty of free fallers over the past couple of years, so it's not like Aston Martin is alone. Yeah, they've been struggling. Strangely, even the stock prices, and Geely has an interest in buying Aston Martin. They now own around 8% of the company. Daimler Mercedes also owns a percentage of Aston Martin. A lot of companies secretly wants to buy Aston Martin. And it's not because they're selling a lot of road cars. They're not selling enough. But the companies that are trying to buy Aston Martin, they believe they can change it. They believe that they can sell more cars than Aston Martin is selling right now because the company isn't changing enough to sell vehicles, and that's obvious. One of the positives for Aston Martin in the last few years is their SUV. I'll admit, I haven't really looked into this SUV much, but they arrived on the scene of the SUV market before Ferrari, and that's a big deal. They saw, I think every company really, especially supercar companies, saw the incredible success that Lamborghini was having with the Lamborghini Urus, and every company wanted a piece of that, including Ferrari. So Ferrari has made their SUV, the Parasanguids coming out soon. Aston Martin got to the market before Ferrari, and I think that helped Aston Martin a little bit, but I still think they have a long way to go. But I think this is the direction they should be looking into. More SUVs, electric vehicle is technically the future at the moment. So a partnership like this with Lucid. Lucid is known for making luxurious cars. They're known for making incredibly fast cars. What they need is facility, funding, a company like Aston Martin to show them this is how you make cars at mass scale, at a mass production. So Aston Martin has a bunch of resources and history and knowledge that they can use to help Lucid to be successful. Lucid needs funding as well. They need those help. They need those resources. On the other hand, Lucid has the technology that Aston Martin needs to develop its cars to compete with future electric vehicles. Honestly, it could be a perfect relationship. It could be a perfect partnership. I would be happy to see both companies come together and join. Seriously, I would be happy with that. That would be perfect. I'm really liking this. You know, it's really getting me excited. And there was a time before Aston Martin joined Formula One, I was wanting to invest in the stocks because I knew it was going to be successful. It's going to see a lot more success being a part of the Formula One brand. And I think that certainly helped Aston Martin a little bit. Although I think they've struggled in F1 like many other teams, and I think that's also not helped them in areas that have impacted them negatively. But I definitely think it's done more good than bad, because I've never heard people talking about Aston Martin as much as they are right now in the last couple of years since it's been in Formula One, since it's had so much publicity from the Formula One Netflix TV series, and other companies are having success as well. But the difference with Red Bull is that they don't have cars. Red Bull don't sell road cars until now. 2023, Red Bull is partnered with Ford for power unit. So Ford has bought out the Honda power unit division, and they're taking it over by the looks of it. I thought Red Bull was going to be taking it over, but they found a perfect partnership with Ford, and Ford had a bunch of money that they were like, Red Bull, just have it. Just put our name on your car. That's what Ford wanted. So you can see how powerful it is to be in Formula One. And this can benefit Aston Martin continuously for a long time to come. And if Lucid gets involved, who knows? I mean, Formula One is a bit out of the, it's a long shot for Lucid, but anything is possible at the moment. So, like I told you, Geely, the owner of Polestar, and Volvo, they have an interest in Aston Martin. Many companies do. So stories about Geely founder Li Shufi taking a close look at acquiring a second English sport car maker after buying Lotus. Yes, they own Lotus as well. The Saudi investment fund is currently the second largest shareholder in Aston Martin. That's with 18.7%. I did not know that. I did not know. So the company that owns Lucid, the Saudi investment fund, also owns the second largest shareholder in Aston Martin. Okay, so that's incredible. So that makes this way easier. This makes it way easier. They have an 18.7% stake as well, following the 28.4% stake held by the Stroll consortium. So Lawrence Stroll, he has its consortium, group of investors, I'm guessing, who own the majority of the Aston Martin group, and it looks like Stroll is the head of that consortium. So that's impressive to say the least. So Geely is the third largest shareholder at 7.6%. I heard it's around 8% at the moment, so who knows? Now, considering what Geely has done with Volvo and Polestar and Lotus, it's hard to say the founder Li Shufi would be unworthy asset management. I think it'd be very good asset management. He's done really well with other brands. So we understand Stroll's quest for independence. If Stroll can close a deal that gets his car maker money, an EV platform, and a tech partner, it gets breathing room. Come into new agreement with the Saudi investment fund, and Lucid could do all three, as well as helping Lucid, the California potentially being able to take advantage of Aston Martin's storefront and service infrastructure. Absolutely. Plus its global presence. There's many ways both companies could benefit each other. Aston Martin wants to be a more approachable brand. It's Lucid. Lucid is quite hot right now. I'm not going to lie. They're hot. They're not getting a lot of orders, but they're still relevant. The reason why they're not getting a lot of orders is there's a combination of different issues around that. Even the orders that they do get, people are reporting faults in their vehicle. But it's clear that both companies have a strong brand presence, very unique in their own. Now, the Aston Martin F1 team buy power unit wholly from Mercedes, wholesale from Mercedes, and doesn't have a Formula E team, suggesting it's deal for passenger car vehicles. Perhaps the refreshed lineup due this year. So complex issues like Aston heavy debt burdens and Lucid rapid cash burn rate are said to be a stand in the way of the partnership for now. So that's interesting. Is that what's holding this partnership away? Is that what's keeping this partnership from happening? And let me just repeat, complex issues like Aston Martin heavy debt burden and Lucid's rapid cash burn rate. Lucid is burning a lot of cash. Aston Martin is borrowing a lot of cash to stay above water. That's such an interesting situation to be in for both companies. But nevertheless, it is interesting. I do have some other news to talk about as well. So I might make additional videos on this news, on the Aston Martin Lucid news, because this isn't the first we've heard of this. There's also news of BlackRock that they're betting big on Lucid Motors, published a couple of days ago on Investor's Place. I can check this out as well. But that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more. Leave a like, leave a comment, and of course, I'll see you in our next video.